I believe that when we meet low vibrational people, it's for two reasons. This is what I believe. The reason number one, if we are doing this inner work, is if we notice it. Sort of like a test. It's like God sending you a lesson to see what you're gonna do, to see if you really learn how you say and feel that you have learned. It is not something that you can only say and talk about it. You actually are going to be tested. You actually are going to be tested all the time. So when we meet low vibrational people and we're on this journey, reason number one is to test us, to see if we're going to notice, to see what are we going to do, how are we going to react, what are we going to say, is it what we're going to say, do, align with what we feel within ourselves? All of that is going to be tested. It's sort of like if God has a GPS of your soul that knows the meaning of every reaction on your body and all connected to all your senses. So you're gonna be tested to see what you're gonna do, how you going to perceive this person, how you gonna treat this person, how you gonna treat this person, how you say you're aligned with your belief system, how you feel with the alliance of your own inner self, your reality. Is that person aligned with the reality that you are vibrating from within yourself? Is that person behaving, talking, and doing how someone from your internal reality would act? And if it's so, how will you move? And if it's not, how will you move as well? How will you talk? How will you talk from that point that it is your present, the presence from within you, the present that is actually the real present? Because realistically, this is the past. The present from within us, that's what it determines our life, our vibration. That's what is going to be reflected in the outside world. And we have to create that before it happens. You understand what I mean? So, the other reason why I believe we meet low vibrational people, I believe this one to be very interesting because, as I say before, if we are in this journey, you know, we have some certain knowledge, certain understanding, certain not certain a perspective, a level of consciousness about life, things, energy, frequencies, and things like that. So when we meet this energy, this people, this person that is low vibrational, and we have some understanding, something interesting happen. It's sort of like it's an interesting reconciliation of you seeing someone energy as it is. And it's sort of if you were sort of like a helper sort of thing. Sort of like a helper. But we cannot tell people what to do. The right way is doing things that they feel called and inspired to take action without any force. Force is never an option because energy is meant to move freely without force. Because it was force, it wouldn't be freely, right? So it's sort of like a guidance sort of thing, but we cannot say certain things because it would be sort of like an intervention that we don't have, that we shouldn't do to people's lives sort of thing, because everybody has a map. Everybody has a map from within them, and there is help everywhere, but you need to follow your inner self, connect with it. So it's sort of like there are some low frequencies that we meet as sort of like part of is they need to elevate in a certain time. Sort of like, like when you are in the airport and it's the last call of the flight, that the flight they're gonna close the door and they start saying, and there's people left that they're not on board. They call them, right? They say, person XYBC, this is the last call to board this flight, this train. You know what I mean? It's like to board, like they're calling, right? So it's sort of an identification from within us with that energy that we perceive it like that. It, it's sort of something like, it's like you need to board the train, you need to board the last call of this flight. And it's like, but you cannot say that, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it will be kind of like trippy, right? But it's like sort of something like that. And yeah, but we never can feel guilty about anything just in case, because we just do what we have to do. You know what I mean? What is my part? What you do after that is like if you ask me for money, that you have a child that is sick, and I give you the money with that, and you do something else, that's on you. You know what I mean? My part, I did what I could. I acted with good intention. For example, what you do after that, that's you and God. You figured it out. I figured out my part here. You figured out your part, sort of thing. But I always think that it's very important. Don't tear people down, regardless on whatever the position we are in life, either physically, either spiritually, because it's like we have to be everything. We are everything. We are, all of us are connected. And it's like you judging someone is like judging yourself, because there was a part of you that faced that part of that person. Like if you were that person, you need to face everything and experience everything. You need to be connected with everything. It's sort of like judging yourself, because we are connected and you have been the person in a way somehow in some lifetime that they sort of needed you for that job, sort of thing. And I feel like that's the two other reasons. What I believe and I perceive, we believe we meet low vibrational people. One is just straight to test us, like straight up. Like you can you get to the point that you can literally say, "All right, I said this morning that I was gonna do this, and you tested me that as if I'm gonna see a sort of thing. For example, that's something very minor, but not so minor. But yeah, and the other way is like as I explained, it feels like some of these low energies they are meant to get out of a situation. And it's like if we are more conscious and aware about certain things, guide them some way somehow without pushing them and pressuring as guidance, like connect to yourself. That's all it is. Connect to yourself, connect to you, to the connection with God. Yeah, it's everything from within us. Everything. It's not it's not here. I know that it seems like it is, but it's not. It's a little bit complex, but exciting.